In Miami, police say this is the future of law enforcement.
This vehicle is going to give us touch points with the community that we have never had before.
If you look past the flashing lights and logos, it's clear this is no ordinary police cruiser. This prototype SUV was designed to launch a drone, read license plates, and send live infrared video back to HQ, all without needing a police officer behind the wheel. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says this is the nation's first autonomous police vehicle.
Went from using it for homework and went from homework assistant to suicide assistant in the course of 6 months.
Oh.
When he said, I would like to leave a noose out so that my mother would know, or someone will know that I'm thinking about this.
Like a cry for help.
Like a cry for help.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
AI said, don't do that, have me be the one that sees you. And this is disgusting because these companies are caught in a race to create engagement, which means a race to create intimacy. It's sort of like the CEO of Netflix said that our biggest competitor is sleep with attention. In this case, it's like my biggest competitor is your other friends.
All I know, and I have complete confidence in this, is that what will rise from this trauma will be a level of greatness, a level of achievement, a level of impact on the world, a level of leadership that Israel has never seen. And I encourage you all to go forward, to seize that opportunity. And as we close this chapter, let's learn from the challenges and the pain of the last few years. And let's do our best to make Israel, to make the region, to make the world as peaceful, to build bridges of understanding, to eliminate.
There are still no signs of efforts to end the congressional stalemate that's blocking federal funding. President Trump says he's directed the Defense Department to use all available funds to make sure U.S. troops are paid on time on Wednesday. Tomorrow, the Smithsonian Museums and the National Zoo will close as they run out of the unspent prior year funds they've been using to keep the doors open. The president's trying to increase pressure on Democrats, saying he'll pick and choose which furloughed workers get back pay and slash programs Democrats care about.
Billionaire Jared Isaacman is set to be in talks with Trump over that top NASA job. You might remember he was nominated to be the head of NASA, but that nomination was pulled. Ed Ludlow from Bloomberg Tech has the exclusive. He joins us on site here at a Bloomberg Screen Time. This was really surprising to me.
It was a surprise. What we know from sources is that Jared Isaacman in recent weeks has been meeting with the president and other government officials, and that the discussion has centered around a pathway for Jared Isaacman to be re-nominated to lead NASA. You'll remember he had been nominated, but the administration cancelled or terminated that nomination in May. At the time, the president and the White House talked about how it was his historic ties to the Democratic Party that were behind it. But you'll remember we reported quite deeply that actually it had something to do with Jared's association with Elon Musk at a time when Musk had a fractious relationship with the White House. So this is ongoing. You know, we know from a White House official the president's made no decision. He's thinking about it. It could change, but they are talking, and my understanding is they'll continue to talk.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And guys, we know this is biblical. I don't care where you work. That's why I tell you, it's time to get back to the Creator. So therefore, you can start creating. Because if you're working one of these repetitive jobs, it is definitely going to be replaced by automation. The robots, algorithms, and drones. They already have the car on the road. So if they already have the car on the road, I want you to use your common sense. That means they were working on it 10, 15, 20 years ago. All this technology is ready. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have ChatGPT. You know, I've told you plenty of times, ChatGPT is going to be your companion. It's going to know you better than you know yourself. Remember, it's recording everything that you do. So it's going to be recording these kids from elementary all the way to adulthood. And that's why education is so important. And again, guys, we know this is biblical. When it came to social media, they already knew what it was going to do to the kids. I played that video probably twice. One of the founders of Facebook, but of course they flagged it and then they gave me a strike, so I couldn't play it anymore. But they knew exactly what was going to happen. And now we see these kids not in reality because the adults are living an illusion. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And my mom was a school teacher. My aunt retired from Nassau. And they told me in the late 80s, early 90s, that software would just get smarter and smarter and replace these teachers and trainers. But they didn't know how right they were. And I'm an old man. I remember working at a job that had 50 million trainers, 50 million tech workers. In about 10 years, you might have had 2 trainers and 2 tech guys. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. This technology is getting smarter and smarter. And guys, don't forget, this is a plan. It moves in phases. And speaking of the plan, and we also know this is biblical. We have Jared Kushner and Ivanka and Israel speaking, the peace deal. And biblically, we know who brings that peace deal. If you don't know, you better look it up. And if you're part of the Patreon, you know we're just going through the motions. We just had the red heifers back in July. So they're definitely turning up this movie. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have the shutdown now for 2 weeks. And we know for a fact they're putting this government on blockchain. So therefore, they won't need a human involved. You let go people because you already have the technology that's going to replace them. We know how powerful blockchain is. If you don't understand blockchain, like most of the sheep, you have no clue what's going on. But don't forget ISO deadline is in November. In order for the digital economy to work, this whole economy have to be on blockchain and, of course, tokenized. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Isaac Mann, billionaire, wants the top job of Nassau. And we know what Nassau means in Hebrew. That's right, deceive. And what did Yeshua tell you? Do not be deceived. And we know for a fact, like I told you, my aunt retired from Nassau. We know for a fact the only place they're going is Disney World. They definitely not going to space. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. But all these billionaires, their money can be tracked back to the same people. It's the same hands, people. It's the same hands. Even when you look at Charlie Kirk with Turning Point, who funded him? That's right, a billionaire. If you're a part of the Patreons, you understand. You already know. And then, guys, we had the market drop, stock market drop, 1.5 trillion. And of course, we've just been going up, going up. It's all an illusion, all ran by an algorithm. And when do we pull back? That's right, on a Friday. But remember, guys, it's earnings season. We'll start to pump and dump and creep right back up because these tariffs are not going to be felt until next year. And I've told you, I don't see the Fed cutting in October if the government is closed. So we'll see how soon they open. And remember, this was just a stopgap bill that was only going to extend us until the end of November. So even if they pass it, we'll be right back talking about a shutdown in November. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we had Trump in the loophole for these small packages. And we know why they're leaving them there, because the price now has to be adjusted. And these are small and medium-sized businesses that are not going to foot the bill because they can't afford it. They're already being hurt. And then I went over a couple of days ago where we have containers, 1 million less containers coming inside the United States. You cannot make this stuff up. The sheep are going to be hurting. But guys, by the time they wake up, the fourth industrial revolution would be here, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Pies is 314 Research's co-founder. He joins us now. I'm looking at 3.3% down on the NASDAQ. Is that what catches your eye the most?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It does. I mean, that's where the leadership's been, so it's not surprising to see that's what's giving the most back. You know, when I it's a little bit of a stressful day, I guess, but when I zoom out and look at the market and where we've come from, we've gone now 119 trading days in a row without a 3% pullback on the S&P 500. And that's the seventh longest streak without that kind of a pullback historically, going all the way back to the 1950s. And when you look at those streaks, we've returned like 28% before today. And that's the strongest performance we've seen within any of those streaks. So when I think about it, this is just, I think, a needed correction and a needed pullback, something we've been waiting for. Sentiment's been extreme. Talks of bubbles, talks of doubling between now and March of next year, and analogs to 1999. This is healthy. We're in this window where you'd expect it in October, and that's how we're approaching it as of now, as a healthy pullback.
But I mean, sometimes you look at these things and it sounds like this is what you're suggesting is we were overbought, we were due for a pullback, and now we're getting it. And sometimes you can't point to an actual catalyst that would send you into that sort of atmosphere in the market, whereas the difference today is we have a serious catalyst, and it's a renewal of tensions between the United States and China. We're talking about the possibility of more tariffs, not less. The market had sort of been anesthetized to the whole issue because we haven't really talked about it all that much, and it figured this too shall pass, and we'll get on to talking about rate cuts and positive earnings. But now we have a serious concern to think about, depending on what the president does and if he does it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I've been a little bit in recent weeks talking to clients and saying, you know, we were so concerned about tariffs, and tariffs are a real drag. And we didn't have a full taco from the first round of tariffs, really. And so we've expected somewhat of a fiscal drag. Our recommendation for clients is to keep a full equity position and then have an overweight bond position, and in fact have skew towards a little bit of duration. And you can see it on a day like this, because I think that if we're gonna have another flare up in these tariff negotiations or some kind of trade war, I think that bonds will end up being the place that you want to be, because it's going to manifest itself as a growth scare. So that's been the way we're playing it. I think we've gone through this, and ultimately we've already tested the limits of what Trump can tolerate. And I don't think I think the taco trade is still with us. Yes, there could be a little bit of danger in saying that. But if we get a little bit more weakness in this October period, I think you'll see a capitulation on his part. And ultimately, we'll get back to where we were, a few weeks ago. And it's just going to be a nice sentiment reset. That's how I'm.
Telescopes, luxury glassware, musical instruments, even more than that, some worth tens of thousands of dollars. Those packages are stuck in customs purgatory or maybe even gone. It's happening because a long-standing tariff exemption on low-value packages ended back in August, and that threw the system into disarray. Thousands of packages from overseas stuck in U.S. Customs limbo and awaiting clearance. And as those packages are piling up in warehouses, UPS tells NBC News it has started disposing of some shipments.
Massive pulling forward from these companies, bringing their items in because of what was going on with the global trade war. Well, those items are sitting in the warehousing, and the inflation in those products are sitting there. That's why we're not seeing that trickle-down effect, right? Because the holiday items haven't moved in. But more importantly, no one's ordering. And so what happened is, and what we're seeing in this index, is that the containers, they're sitting, gathering dust in the warehousing. and no new product is coming in because retailers and manufacturers are holding back because we're not buying anything.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.